I'm waiting for some our board members to log on so we can have a quorum. There are five of us today, and so I know that at least one board member is having some issues. And so as soon as we have, well, we now have a quorum, but I'm still waiting for two other board members to log on. And as soon as they log on, then we will start. I just want to remind two of our board members are having some technical difficulties. So they're having some concerns with their login credentials. So we're trying to fix that. So, well, I think one board member showed up. So I'm waiting for the other board member who was, I said before, two board members were having some technical difficulties. So as soon as those technical difficulties are solved, so I'm waiting for one additional board member. So we should be able to start shortly. I'm going to give our other board members 3 minutes. I know that they're trying to solve her technical concerns, but we do have a quorum. So at 10:45, we will start with Anat. Unfortunately, she's not on. I know that for the other folks who are waiting, I know that you're waiting patiently. So I will, at 10:45, I will start.
Chairperson Anderson, board member Hanson is on the line. She's a call-in.
So she can, okay, so she can speak?
She can speak.
Okay, fine. All right, thank you. All right. All right.
Ms. Hanson, please announce yourself.
Jenny Hanson.
All right, okay, thanks.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, all right. Good morning, everyone. As chairperson of the Alcoholic Beverage Control Board for the District of Columbia, and in accordance with DC Official Code Section 25764 of the Open Meetings Act, I am welcoming you to a regular meeting of the Alcoholic Beverage Control Board. This meeting is being conducted pursuant to guidance made available by the District of Columbia's Office of Open Government regarding electronic meetings held by public bodies during the public health emergency. Pursuant to this guidance, notice of today's meeting was provided 48 hours in advance of the meeting on ABRA's website and on the district's central meeting calendar. The notice included the time, date, agenda, and call-in or login information for public participation. This electronic meeting is being hosted by a WebEx account provided by the District of Columbia government. Please address any questions or complaints to the OOG at opengovoffice@dc.gov. My name is Donovan Anderson. I'm the chairman of the board. I would like to introduce the other members of the ABC board who are also participating electronically pursuant to Mayor's Order 2020-054. Please respond when I announce your name. Ms. Rafi Crockett.
Rafi Crockett, present.
Ms. Jenny Hanson.
Jenny Hanson, present.
Mr. Ed Grandis.
Ed Grandis, present.
The board has 5 members in attendance for the conduct of business today, and that constitutes a quorum. Before we get underway.
Bobby Cato.
Did I call you Mr. Cato? I'm sorry, Mr. Cato.
Bobby Cato, present.
I apologize, Mr. Cato. I apologize, Mr. Cato. Yes, so Mr. Cato is here. He has identified himself, and the board has 5 members in attendance for the conduct of business. All right, before we get underway with today's hearing calendar, I need to make a few instructions very clear so that the conduct of these hearings is understood by everyone. Today's hearings are being conducted through a WebEx account provided by the DC Office of Open Government. There are 13 cases scheduled for today. Once your case is called, I will take a moment for our IT specialist to elevate the rights for each party to enable their camera and microphone. Then and only then will you have the ability to enable your equipment. If your case has not been heard, you will remain mute and your camera will be disabled. At the conclusion of each case, the parties will have the option to leave. If the party chooses to stay, all cameras and microphones for the concluded case will be disabled. Should you have any questions or require technical assistance during the hearing, please submit them using the question and answer feature or email simone.andrews2@dc.gov. Our first order of business today is case number, and today all we're doing, these are all protest status hearings. And so our first order of business today is case number 20 PRO 00012 Hawthorne, license number 99603. Ms. Andrews, can you please elevate the rights of the protestant and also the licensee, please?
Sure, stand by.
Thank you.
All parties have been elevated. That's all, Mr. Chair.
All right, thank you. All right. I see, I think I see on my screen, Franz Broham. I am
Ms. Johnson, the call in, her line has been unmuted.
okay.
I responded in the chat and it said that my mic was open. Can you not hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, ma'am. I just can't.
Oh, okay.
I can't see you. Most of the time we have video, so I'm not seeing your mic being open, and because you don't have a video, so I'm not seeing you. So let's start at the beginning. So I'll have the parties introduce themselves for the record, please. We'll start with the licensee. Please state your name and also spell it for the record, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Francis Brogan for the licensee, Hawthorne. Brogan is Brogan.
All right. Good morning, Mr. Brogan, and the protestant.
Yes, sir. Good morning. My name is Eileen Johnson. Eileen is spelled Aileen, last name Johnsson, and I'm the representative for the protestant group of 5.
Okay. Good morning, Ms. Johnson. Are there any preliminary matters in this case? From either side. Go ahead.
The parties had mediation yesterday. We think we're on a good track towards getting a consensus. We're not there yet. So we'd ask the board give us some more time to figure this out. Would you say that's fair, Ms. Johnson?
Yes, that's accurate.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Johnson. All right. The board will schedule this matter for a protest hearing for a date to be determined. It probably will be sometime in the new year. We have not put our calendar together as yet for when we're going to have a protest hearing, but I will advise both parties that you can continue to speak and and negotiate, and if at some period that a settlement agreement is reached, then it can be provided to the agency, which will be provided to the board for consideration and assent. But if the matter is not settled, then, as I stated before, we will provide you with a date for the protest hearing. So, all right. Here, if unless there are no other preliminary matters that needs to be addressed, I will just read the instruction for protest hearing for both parties. So now that we have scheduled this matter for protest hearing, as I stated, for a date to be determined, there are a few things that I would like to instruct you about so that the protest hearing is focused and addresses only those issues that are being protested. You either have already received or will soon be receiving an email from Imani Moreland that contains a copy of the protest information form, PIP, and a copy of an exhibit form. Both parties are required to complete and submit the protest information form, PIP, and the exhibit form at least 7 days before the date of the hearing. If we do not receive a copy of your forms 7 days before the hearing, your application or your protest may be subject to dismissal. These documents not only need to be submitted to ABRA, but to the opposing party as well. Please know that these documents greatly assist the board in narrowing the protest issues, facilitating the process, and keeping the parties on point during the hearing. Each side will have 90 minutes to present their case. This includes all direct and cross-examination of witnesses. The board does not intend to hear testimony on matters that are not relevant to those issues that are being protested, nor will the board tolerate repetitive testimony. Are there any questions by either side?
No, I understood the instructions.
I understand this. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we thank you greatly for your cooperation. If you have any questions at any time leading up to the hearing, please do not hesitate to contact AGC April Randall at 202-442-4353. Thank you very much for your attendance today, and good luck in your negotiations. It has always remained the board's position and my position, especially, that I prefer parties come to settlement agreements, because when you have settlement agreements, at least both sides will leave this matter happy. When the board makes a determination, one side might be happy, the other side might be unhappy. But if you have a settlement agreement, at least both sides will be happy. But if you're unable to agree, the board will, of course, we will have the hearing and we'll make a determination for what we believe is in the best interest. So good luck. And,
Could I ask you?
Yes, Ms.
Could I
Johnson.
interrupt for? Could I ask you one question, really? If not about the instructions and what you just said, but since the hearing would be set on a date to be determined in advance, is the process for seeking out an alternative date through some formal channels, or just notifying April that date conflicts with another hearing or something?
Right. So the board will issue the date. So you will get, both sides will get the dates. If there is a conflict, then both sides can contact April Randall, and then we'll choose another date. So if there's a conflict, then I would say that make sure that you speak to Mr. Brogan to inform the licensee, to inform him that you have a problem with the date, and maybe you two can jointly agree on a date that works. But the agency will work with both sides to make sure that we come up with a date that mutually works for both sides. Okay.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you very much for your participation today, and you guys have a good day. All right.
Thank you, and happy holiday.
Thank you very much, and you also. Thank you. All right. The next case on our calendar is case number 20 PRO 00023, Secret Lounge, license number 107123. And Ms. Andrews, can you please elevate the rights of the licensee? And I think it's a Westminster Neighborhood Association, and I believe there's a group of 5 or more protesting, please.
Sure, stand by.
Thank you. I'll ask all parties, if you have a camera, please turn your camera on. I see some names I don't see, so.
That's all, Mr. Chair.
Yes. All right. Mr. Fox and I think Mr. Fox and Danny, and then Mr. and Mrs. Daniele, if you have a camera, please turn them on, because I want to make sure that you are available, that you're there.
David Fox here.
Okay, fine. All right. I can't see you, but we're fine. Okay.
I think Mr. Danielle is on now as well. I see his camera's on.
Right. I don't see Mr. Fox.
Fox is here. Just one moment. I'm turning it on.
All right.
We're having an issue.
Okay.
You see where to do it? I think we'd be prepared to go ahead without the video if that's okay with you.
That's fine. That is fine. All right. So let's start with the introduction of the parties. Let's start with the licensee. So you are the representative for the licensee, Mr. Fox. Can you introduce yourself for the record and spell your say and spell your name, please?
My name is David Fox, F-O-X, and I represent the Secret Lounge.
And who else is on the phone as part? Who else is on the line as far as Secret Lounge?
It's Deroy Daniel.
Can you spell and say for the record, sir, please?
Dereje. The last name is Daniel. Daneale.
All right, thank you. And who is the protestant?
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Evan Schlom, that's E, V as in Victor, A, N as in Nancy, S as in Sam, C as in Charlie, H, L, O, M as in Mary. On behalf of the group of 8, although I would note for the record that this morning, the group of 8 submitted a letter to April Randall and Martha Jenkins withdrawing our protest in this matter. The Westminster neighbor, I'm not sure if the board has received that letter yet. Or if the board would entertain an oral motion to do that, that would be fine as well. But I'm aware that the Westminster Neighborhood Association is continuing their protest, and I just received a text message from the representative of the Westminster Neighborhood Association saying that he's muted and they won't let him off mute.
Who is that person?
Pearson Stocklane.
Ms. Andrews, can you please elevate the rights of Pearson Scotland, please?
Mr. Chair, he may be a call-in because I don't see his name as a attendee. Mr. Sean, is he a call-in?
Yes, he's a dial-in. In fact, he just texted me. It's clear that he's listening to you right now. It's his number is 901. It's 901 area code.
Okay. Okay. Could you announce yourself, please? I just unmuted the line that begins with 901.
This is Pearson Steckline on behalf of the Westminster Neighbor Association.
Can you please,
perfect.
Can you please, sir, can you please spell your name for the record, please?
Sure. It is Pierson, last name Stoecklein.
All right, thank you. Mr. Schramm, the agency had received your written, but if you want, you can make an oral motion and I will formally dismiss it. So you can make an oral motion to dismiss if you want to.
Sure. Sure. The group of 8 moves to withdraw its protest in this matter, although to be clear, we are the Westminster Neighborhood Association is not moving to withdraw its protest.
Well, that's fine. All right. So the motion from the group of 8 is to withdraw. The group is to withdraw. That they're making an oral motion. Is there a second? I make a motion that we dismiss them from the protest. Is as a party in this protest. Is there a second?
Bobby Cato.
Crockett seconds.
Both Mr. Cato and Ms. Crockett have seconded the motion. I'll now have a roll call vote on the motion that's been properly seconded, and that's been properly seconded by Mr. Cato and Ms. Crockett. And Mr. Cato.
So I agree.
Ms. Crockett.
Rafi Crockett, I agree.
Ms. Hanson.
Jenny Hansen, I agree.
Mr. Grandis.
Ed Grandis, I agree.
And Mr. Anderson, I agree. The matter passed 5-0. So the board has voted that the group is no longer a party in this in this protest. However, if they so want to participate with the civic association, with the association, that is their right. Okay, thank you. So I'm sorry, who is representing the civic association again? I'm sorry. The Westminster Neighborhood Association.
Pearson Steckline, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, Mr. Strickland, I apologize, sir. All right. So, Mr. Fox, are there any, as far as the licensee is concerned, are there any preliminary matters?
No preliminary matters except to say that we've not been given the details of the protest.
Have the parties, they have not had It's my understanding that there's a mediation on 10/27. So are you saying that if you had since you had mediation on 10/27 and you don't know what the protest is about, sir?
That is correct.
I don't ask what happens but let me ask you a question. And the board, what happens in mediation is confidential, so it's not shared with the board. But the only question I'm going to ask you about the mediation, did the parties have mediation on 10/27/2020?
No, sir.
No,
we did, Mr. Chairman. I wonder if
hold
there's
on,
a
Mr.
confusion
Hold on,
here.
hold on a minute. Mr. Schramm, you're not a party to this case. You can't say nothing. So Mr. Strickland has to speak up. And Mr. Fox, I know that I can no longer see your client. So
I'm here.
I know you're there. I'm just saying before I saw your picture, but your picture disappeared. But I see I see that you're online. So my record said that there was a mediation. So let me ask Mr. Strickland. Yeah. Mr. Strickland, was there a mediation held on October 27, 2020?
Yes, there was, Mr. Chairman.
Well, Mr. Chairman, may I jump in?
Yes, Mr. Fox.
I was retained about a week ago. I was not advised there had been a mediation.
All right,
I know a few details, but I'm not satisfied that I know all of the concerns.
All right, Mr. Fox, that is a conversation you need to have with your client. Okay, that's between you and your client. But the record reflects that a mediation was held on the 27th, and so therefore, once you further flesh this out with your client, I would hope that you have a better idea what the issues are in this case. But so I just want to say that. Okay, so I just want the record to reflect that a mediation was held, and I believe that Mr. Daniele had confirmed that he participated in the mediation. Is that correct, Mr. Daniele?
Yes, I've been participating in the mediations, and
between,
I give him a document, all information.
Mr. Daniele, I don't need to be a part of the conversation that you've had with your client. I'm not asking that. The only thing I'm asking you to confirm is that a mediation was held. Whatever conversation you've had with your attorney, that is attorney-client privilege, and I don't want you to divulge that. All I wanted to establish for the record is that there was a mediation, that the parties met in mediation, and I would hope that since the parties went through mediation, that both sides should be aware what the issues are that's being protested, okay? All right. Are there any other preliminary matters from Mr. Stockline or from Mr. Fox that needs to be brought to the board's attention?
None at this time from Mr. Fox.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, this is Pearson Steckline on behalf of the WNA. We are preparing a proposed settlement agreement, and we'll be providing that to the party's new counsel when he is able to familiarize himself with the facts of the case.
All right, fine. Well, I'm hoping that you will have that. Do you have Mr. Fox's contact information?
I do not.
Mr. Fox, at the end of these proceedings, can you please contact Mr. Strickline and provide him or better yet, let me do this on the record. Mr. Fox, what is your contact information, please?
Telephone 202-276-3050. Office address 1333 Connecticut Avenue, Northwest, Suite 400, zip code 20036.
Do you have an email, sir?
Yes, I do. David E. like an elephant Fox @gmail.
All right. Okay. So the parties I have ensured that there is a way for the parties to communicate, although this is not my role, but I'm making sure that the parties can properly communicate moving forward. And any other preliminary matter that needs to be addressed?
Not from us.
Okay, thank you.
No,
All
Mr.
right.
Chairman.
Thank you very much. The board is unable, normally the board would provide a date for a protest hearing. However, because of the impending emergency, we're still looking at the calendar so we will provide you a date for the protest hearing. But in the interim, I would ask the parties if they are available to continue talking. If the parties are able to settle this matter through a settlement agreement, the board, of course, will welcome that, because at least a decision will be made and both sides are happy in the results. However, if you're unable to sign this through a settlement agreement, then we will have a hearing at a date to be determined in the new year. Okay? All right.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Mr.
This is Pearson Steckline on behalf of WNA. I apologize.
Yes.
I have one more question, and I'm not sure how to handle it procedurally, so I apologize. But there are aspects of the proposed settlement agreement that, based on our mediations, I realize I can't divulge the contents. Pardon me? I realize I can't divulge the contents of the mediations, but there are aspects of the mediations that require that there be some kind of coordination, or at least it was suggested by the mediation officer, some kind of coordination with the General Counsel of ABRA in order to retain a global settlement across all of the establishments for which WNA is protesting the license renewals. That line of communication has not yet been opened. And so that is going to significantly hinder our ability to reach a settlement in this matter and all of the other matters before you today in which WNA is protesting. There are 4 of them, in fact. So I just wanted to make you and the other board members aware of that, because without the involvement of the General Counsel, we will have challenges.
Well, the only thing that the board can state, I can't speak about a global settlement. There's the only protest case that's before me is this case is 20 PRO 00023 Secret Lounge. So that is the only protest that I can talk about, because that's the only case. So I'm not quite sure what global settlement agreement, and I am unaware whether or not the agency can give you advice on a global settlement, because these are all individual licensees. And so therefore, whatever settlement agreement is reached, it will be for this one establishment. Maybe if you're protesting other establishments, maybe you can have similar language, but it has to be an individual settlement agreement that addresses each individual licensee. I'm sorry?
No, I appreciate that. I appreciate your indulgences. Nonetheless, I wanted to make the board aware of what had been offered to us by one of the ABRA representatives in assistance. So we will pursue it individually, and we will hope for a resolution.
I would say that I would welcome you to call our General Counsel Martha Jenkins, and let me look for her. Let me look for her phone number.
I have her information, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
So you're welcome after this call to contact our General Counsel Martha Jenkins, and then she will provide you whatever guidance that you require. But I just want to remind the parties that these are individual cases, and so if these are individual licensees, and so if a settlement agreement comes, it will be a settlement agreement for the Secret Lounge. So it's not going to be a settlement agreement that's going to cover 10 establishments. So you would have to send in 10 settlement agreements, but it has to be one settlement agreement that covers this particular licensee. Okay.
That is understood. Thank you.
All right. Thanks. All right. So as I stated before, this matter will be scheduled for a protest hearing at a date to be determined. The agency will provide will provide you with the date of the date of the protest hearing. Both parties, if they believe that settlement is impending, then they can ask the agency to postpone or to postpone the protest hearing to a date that's mutually agreeable to both parties. So I support settlements, and so we will work with the agent. We'll work with both sides to ensure that we can facilitate dates and give both sides as much opportunity that they require to come to an agreement. And if they can't come to an agreement, of course, we'll have a hearing. Okay. All right. So now that we've scheduled this matter for protest hearing, there are a few things that I would like to instruct you about so that the protest hearing is focused and addresses only those issues that are being protested. You either have already received or will soon be receiving an email from Imani Moreland that contains a copy of a protest information form PIP and a copy of an exhibit form. Both parties are required to complete and submit the protest information form PIP and the exhibit form at least 7 days before the date of the hearing. If we do not receive a copy of your forms 7 days before the hearing, your application or your protest may be subject to dismissal. These documents not only need to be submitted to ABRA, but to the opposing party as well. Please know that these documents greatly assist the board in narrowing the protest issues, facilitating the process, and keeping the parties on point during the hearing. Each side will have 90 minutes to present their case. This includes all direct and cross-examination of witnesses. The board does not intend to hear testimony on matters that are not relevant to these issues, to those issues that are being protested, nor will the board tolerate repetitive testimony. Are there any questions by either side?
No questions.
Okay. All right. We thank you greatly for your cooperation. If at any time you have any questions leading up to the hearing, please do not hesitate to contact Assistant General Counsel April Randall at 202-442-4353. So you can either contact Ms. Randall or you can contact the General Counsel, and we'll provide whatever technical assistance that you need to facilitate this process. I thank everyone for their participation today, and good luck in your negotiation. And as I've stated, if this matter doesn't go to a protest hearing, I'm happy because I said that the parties have been able to work this matter out to their mutual satisfaction. If not, the board will convene a protest hearing and make a decision. All right. So thank you very much and have a great day.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, the next case in our calendar is case number 19 PRO 00015, Empire Lounge, license number 110702. Ms. Andrews, can you please elevate the rights of the parties for Empire Lounge, please? And I believe for Empire Lounge, it's the Westminster Neighborhood Association. I'm not sure who all the parties are, but for all the parties who are for Empire Lounge, please elevate their rights, please. And if your rights are not being elevated, please identify yourself in the chat.
Okay, Mr. Chair, I need to take a moment to remove the parties from the previous case.
Sure. Okay, thank you.
Ma'am? Ma'am?
Yes, Mr. Pearson?
Yes, I just wanted to make sure, since we had problems before, I'm the representative for WNA in this case as well.
Yes, your line will remain on mute, okay?
Thank you very much.
That's all, Mr. Chair.
All right. All right. Can I see All right. Let's start with the for Empire. Let's start with the licensee. Could the licensee or the licensee's representative please identify themselves for the record, please, and also spell your name for the record.
Good morning, Mr. Anderson. My name is Richard Bianco. My last name is spelled C-O, and I represent Empire Lounge.
Mr. Bianco, could you start back over because we didn't hear the spelling of your entire name, sir.
Yes, sir. My name is Richard Bianco. Last name spelled B-I-A-N-C-O.
Good morning, Mr. Bianco. Is your client with you this morning?
He's not.
Okay, thanks. All right, let's have the protestant. Can you please identify yourself by spelling your name for the record, please?
This is Pearson Steckline, spelled P-I-E-R-S-O-N, last name S-T-O-E-C-K-L-E-I-N, on behalf of Westminster Neighborhood Association.
All right.
I believe
Thank you,
there's
sir.
also a party of 5 in this proceeding. I don't know if their rights have been elevated to speak.
And who is the party? And who's the party of 5?
Jonathan Lounsbury.
Are
Michael
they?
Merenstein.
Is a representative from that group on the line?
They are not, sir.
Mr. Strickland, do you have they contacted you to state that they are unable to get through?
They indicated last night that they had not yet received WebEx links, nor had we, in fact, to be honest, Mr. Chairman. It's been a persistent problem, but they did intend to participate.
The WebEx invitations were sent on November 12th to all parties.
Yes, I can't speak to what they may or may not have received, other than to say that they told me that they didn't receive them.
Are you able to contact them now to see if they can participate? If they're not here, the board has to dismiss them from the case. And although they'll have an opportunity to give us a reason why they're not here, but so are you able to contact someone to say, and we'll provide them the link for them to participate?
Mr. Chairman, I can try to do that. I know that several of them are teachers, to be quite candid with you, so it's a challenge for them to respond quickly. The best I can do is try to email them.
Well, I'll give you a minute, sir, and if they're not here, I have to dismiss them from the case. However, they'll be given 10 days to give us reasonable notice why they did not participate. And if they can give us reasonable notice why they did not participate today, then the board will reconsider its position to dismiss them from the protest today. Because I'm being told that the agency did send the invitation, and I'm not sure why is it that they're not here, or if they were aware that the hearing was scheduled for today, why did they not contact the board to say, can you not provide us with the invitation to how to participate? So it's incumbent on folks to, if they are aware that the hearing is scheduled for today, and if they were not provided the contact information for them to participate, then it's incumbent upon them to contact the agency to say, I know that I have a hearing, but I have not been provided information how to participate in this hearing.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman, was that directed at me? I'm aware of their obligations.
I'm just making a statement for the record, sir. I wasn't asking for a response from you. I was just making a statement on the record as far as the information I'm being provided by the agency. So I'll give, all parties were alerted that this matter was scheduled for a protest hearing at 10:30. It is now 11:22. So it's been almost an hour that they should have been on the line. And and if they knew that the hearing was scheduled for today, and if they were not given, or if their statement is that to you is that they were not given the credentials how to participate in this hearing, then they should have contacted the agency to find out what are the credentials to participate in this hearing today. So I'm gonna, as I stated before, this matter was scheduled for a protest hearing at 10:30. It is now 11:22. The case was the case. I call the case. The group of 5 or more is currently not on. Is currently not online. This is for Empire. This is for Empire Lounge. And if the group, since the group is not here, I will make a motion that the group of 5 or more be dismissed from the Empire Lounge litigation. Is there a second?
Bobby Cato.
Mr. Cato, I second the motion. I will now have a roll call vote on the motion that is before us. Mr. Cato.
Bobby Cato, I agree.
Ms. Crockett.
Rafi Crockett, I agree.
Ms. Hanson.
Jenny Hansen, I agree.
Mr. Grandis.
Ed Grandis agrees.
And Mr. Anderson, I agree, the matter passes 5-0. So the board has dismissed the group of 5 or more from this litigation. The board will issue a written decision. The group will have 10 days to give reasonable notice to the board why they were unable to appear today. If they do not respond, or if they do not provide the board with reasonable cause why they were within the time period why they did not participate today, then they will be formally dismissed from this litigation. All right, so the 2 parties in this case right now is the licensee and the Westminster Neighborhood Association. Are there any preliminary issues on your side, Mr. Bianco?
No, sir, nothing from the applicant.
And from the Neighborhood Association, what's your name again, sir?
Steckline, Pearson Steckline.
Mr. Steckline, do you have any preliminary issues that you need to bring to our attention?
We do not.
All right, thank you. Normally, the board would issue a date for the protest hearing. Unfortunately, we're unable to provide you a date at this time, but we will provide you a date shortly for the protest hearing. If the date does not work for both sides, please contact the agency and we will try to reschedule it for a different date. I would advise both parties, if you believe that a settlement agreement can be reached, that you continue to have discussions and see if you can reach a settlement agreement. If you're unable to receive a settlement agreement, then we can, if you're unable to achieve a settlement agreement, then we'll have this hearing. All right, now, do I need to read the protest information form? I'm sorry, the instructions for protest hearing for both parties, or do I need to read the instructions, or are they familiar with the instructions?
I'm familiar with the instructions, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Bianco, and I know that in a previous case, just before this one, Mr. Strickland, I had reviewed the instructions. Do I need to repeat them for you, sir?
No, that's not necessary. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Again, I'll advise both parties to have conversations. If either side needs some guidance from our agency, you're welcome to call April Randall at 202-442-4353, or to call our general counsel, Ms. Jenkins, and we'll provide whatever assistance we can provide both parties. That's available to Mr. Bianco, and that's also available to you, Mr. Strickland. So, but good luck in your negotiation. If not, we'll see in the new year when we have protest hearing. All right. Thank you very much. Have a great day. All right then. Bye-bye. All right. Have a great day. Thank you. Give me 1 minute, please. All right, the next case on our calendar is case number 20 PRO 00016, Cloud Restaurant and Lounge Sports Bar, license number 93572. Ms. Andrews, can you see if there's anyone online regarding this establishment, Cloud Restaurant?
Sure. I think Mr. Fox is still on the line.
Who's on?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry if I'm a second late. This is David Fox. I represent Cloud Lounge.
Okay, so you're on. So Mr. Fox is on, and who else is on?
Pearson Steckline, representing the Westminster Neighborhood Association.
All right. Now, Mr. Fox and Mr. Strickland, I know that you are online. However, I have to cancel this hearing because the license was canceled. So to see Board Order 2020-813, this license was canceled. So therefore, because the license was canceled, please inform your client that they need to start this process back over because the license was canceled.
I do understand that, sir.
You heard me, Mr. Fox?
Yes, sir, I understand.
All right, so we're canceling. So I'm canceling the hearing because the hearing was canceled. I'm sorry, because the license was canceled. See Board Order number 2020-813. And so please advise your client that this process needs to be started over again because the license was canceled. And Mr. Strickland, once if the licensee reapplies for its license, then you can, if you still want to protest this matter, then you can contact the agency and you could either ask them to carry over, but you would have to formally let the agency know that you're still protesting this license.
I understand. Thank you, Mr.
All
Chairman.
right. So thank you very much. Everyone have a great day.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I believe that concludes my matters.
Thank you. Have a great day, please. All right, thanks. All right, the next case in our calendar is case number 20 PRO 00018, La Libertad Restaurant, license number 70773. This hearing is canceled due to submission of a settlement agreement for the board's review and approval. The next case in our calendar is case number 20 PRO 00027. The Game Sports Pub Tiki on 18th, license number 112308. Ms. Andrews, can you please elevate the rights of the parties in this case, please?
Sure, stand by.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I just received an email or a call from the ANC representative, Amir, and he's trying to log on right now. Can I give Ms. Andrews his email address and can she?
You can provide us with whatever login credentials the person is using so she'll know to elevate their rights.
Okay.
Ms. Johannes, you can email me that information. I'm not sure if we want that in the public record. I'm going to unmute the line for the phone number beginning in 705. Could you please announce yourself?
Good morning. This is Dennis James, president of the Calorama Citizens Association.
Okay, thank you.
Is it just a civic association or is it also an ANC protesting this matter?
It's also the ANC.
All right, so all right.
I'm emailing the information right now.
Ms. Johannes, I received your email. I just sent over the link for him to join.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Do we know if the person has gotten the email to log in?
I'm confirming that right now.
Thank you.
He did get the link.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, I do see him on the line. I'm going to go ahead and make him a panelist.
Thank you.
Hello there.
All right. Okay. So this is case number 20 PRO 00027. The Game Sports Club Tick on 18's license number 112308. Let's have the parties introduce themselves for the record, spell their name. We'll start with the licensee.
Sidon Johannes on behalf of the licensee, and that is SIDONYOHANNES.
And let's have the protestant starting with the ANC. Spell your name, identify yourself and spell your name for the record, please.
Amir Irani, AMIRIRANI, and representing 1C01, ANC 1C.
And we have the Civic Association.
Good morning again. Dennis James, President of Kalorama Citizens Association. Dennis is spelled with just one N. JAMES.
All right. Thank you, Mr. James. Thank you, Ms. Johannes, and thank you, Mr. Irani. All right. Are there any preliminary matters that needs to be brought to the board's attention?
No, not at this time, but we do hope to enter a settlement agreement very soon.
And as you know, Ms. Johannes, the board does look forward to receiving settlement agreements, because when we receive settlement agreement, it informs the board that the parties are able to work this out to their mutual satisfaction, and that the board does not have to get involved to make one side mad at them. I don't like when the community or our licensee is mad at the board. So I prefer when folks have settlement agreement, and so everyone can move on and be happy in settlement agreements. And I think that when there's a meeting of the minds, most people can be happy. So I'm glad with that. All right. Any other issues? Who is speaking, please?
Yeah, it's Dennis James. Speaking for the Kalorama citizens, I'm also hopeful that we can reach a settlement agreement. We initially sent a draft shortly after the establishment was placarded. We had some discussions before Ms. Johannes was hired, and since then she's sent us a different draft, and we're going to get together on a conference call and talk about it soon.
All right, I'm glad to hear that. All right, okay, the board is unable to offer a date for a protest hearing at this juncture, but we will provide a date shortly for the new year. But the board supports conversations between the parties to have a settlement agreement. Are the parties familiar with the instructions for protest hearing, or do I need to read the instructions for protest hearing to all three parties?
Yeah, ANC 1C is familiar.
All right, thank you very much. And so, as I stated, you have something to say, Ms. Johannes?
No, I do not.
So the reason because I can see you, so I thought you wanted to say something. I didn't want to not. I did not want to. I never want to deprive an attorney an opportunity to speak. To speak. So I just want to make sure. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, well, I would just want to thank all parties for their participation today. I want to thank all parties that they should continue to negotiate, and if they're unable to negotiate, then we'll have a protest hearing in the new year. Happy holidays to everyone, and I hope everyone be safe. Thank you for your participation today.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Happy holidays.
Thank you all there.
All right, thank you. Have a great day. All right. The next case in our calendar is case number 19 PRO 00138, Uproar, license number 92012. This hearing is canceled due to its consolidation with case number 20 PRO 00005. See board order number 2020-717. I just want to, for the record, to be clear that we're not dismissing the protest hearing. We are dismissing the schedule for this protest hearing because it was consolidated by mutual, it was consolidated by mutual assent of the parties with case number 2020 PRO 00005. All right. All right. The next case on our calendar is case number 20 PRO 00028. Full Viet USA, license number 116771. This hearing is continued to December 10th, 2020 at 1:30 p.m. See Board Order number 2020-661. The next case on our calendar is case number 20 PRO 00025, the Mayflower Club, license number 116450. Ms. Andrews, can you elevate the rights for and to see if there's any participants for the Mayflower Club on the line, please?
Yes, I do believe that's Miss Johannes. I'm going to make her a panelist again.
Thank you.
And Mr. Warwick is not on the line. Okay, that's all, Mr. Chair.
All right, thank you. Miss Johannes.
Yes.
Can you identify yourself for the record, please?
Cedar Johannes on behalf of the licensee, SIDONYOHANNES.
I see that the protestant is not here. Are there any representation that you are willing to put on the record?
Yes, I have a fully executed settlement agreement that I will be submitting as soon as I log off.
All right, so the settlement agreement was so what we will do in this case, I mean, the board will schedule this. Normally, if the protestant is not here, we would dismiss the protestant. But since there is a executed settlement agreement that has not been provided to the board as yet, and the representation that was made by counsel is that she will submit it to the board. So what I will do is that the board then will cancel this hearing due to pending the submission of the settlement agreement for the board's review and approval. All right, so thank you, Ms. Johannes, for that. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. All right, the next case on our calendar is case number 20 PRO 00024, MK Lounge and Restaurant, license number 88787. Ms. Andrews, can you please elevate the rights for the licensee and the protestant in the MK Lounge case, please?
Sure, stand by. Mr. Stockline, are you still on the line?
Yes, I am.
Okay, that's all, Mr. Chair.
All right, thank you. All right, let's have the parties introduce themselves for the record. Let's start with the licensee. Mr. Bianco, are you able to unmute your? Are you able to please unmute your line, sir, and speak and identify yourself for the record?
Yes, I was just given that ability. Mr. Anderson, thank you very much. My name is Richard Bianco, and my last name is spelled BIANCO, and I am counsel for the licensee in this matter.
Is the licensee joining you today?
No, sir, he is not.
Okay, so let's start with the protestant. I think there's a group, and I think there is the let's have the licensee, the protestant identify themselves for the record, please.
Mr. Chairman, this is Pearson Steckline on behalf of the Westminster Neighborhood Association. It's spelled P-I-E-R-S-O-N, last name S-T-O-E-C-K-L-E-I-N.
All right, thank you, Mr. Stockline. And is there, I see that Mr. Schramm, identify yourself for the record, please, and who do you represent, if anyone?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning. Evan Schlom. That's E-V as in Victor, A-N as in Nancy. Last name is S-C as in Charlie, H-L-O-M as in Mary, a budding property owner here on my own behalf.
All right, thank you. All right, so are there any preliminary matters in this case?
None from the licensee, Mr. Chairman.
What about the two protestants?
None from me, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Strickland?
Nor for us, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. All right, as stated before, the board is unable to provide a date for the protest hearing, but we will provide a date shortly for a protest hearing in the new year. I would advise both parties, if they are able to settle this matter through a settlement agreement, the board does welcome the opportunity to review settlement agreements if the parties so desire. But if the parties are unable to agree, then we'll have a protest hearing in the new year. Are all parties familiar with the instructions for protest hearing, or do I need to read the instructions?
Licensee is familiar. We'll waive reading.
Thank you.
WNA is also familiar and will waive.
Thank you.
And Mr. Schlom, I'm familiar and will waive the reading.
All right, thank you very much. All right, so we'll provide both sides with a date and time for the protest hearing, and the board encourages discussions with the parties that if they're able to settle this matter through a settlement agreement for the board's consideration, we would appreciate that. But if not, we'll see you at a protest hearing sometime in the new year. Thank you for being here today, and have a great day.
You too, Mr.
Thank you very much. Happy Thanksgiving.
All right, thank you. You too, sir. All right, bye-bye. All right, the next case in our calendar is case number 20 PRO 00034, JS Mart Liquor, license number 116822. This case has been continued to December 10th, 2020 at the request of the applicant, Seaboard Order number 2020-662. All right, the next case on our calendar is case number 20 PRO 00037. This case has been canceled due to submission of a settlement agreement for the board's review and approval. The next case in our calendar is case number 20 PRO 00036, Suri, license number 112748. This case has also been canceled due to submission of a settlement agreement for the board's review and approval. So we have now come to the end of our calendar for the day, and we will now do our licensing agenda. The first matter on our licensing agenda is to review the application for stipulated license with letter of ANC support for a new Abra license. This is in the Marriott at Metro Center, license number 117396. I make a motion that we approve this request. Is there a second?
Ms. Crockett seconds.
Ms. Crockett has seconded the motion. We will now have a roll call vote on the motion that has been properly seconded by Ms. Crockett. Mr. Cato?
Bobby Cato, I agree.
Ms. Crockett?
Rafi Crockett, I agree.
Ms. Henson?
Jenny Hansen, I agree.
Mr. Grandis?
Grandis, I agree.
Mr. Anderson, I agree. The matter therefore passes 5-0-0. We now move to our docket. There is one establishment on our docket today. It's an application from, it used to be Hein Restaurants LLC, trade name to be determined, license number 113525. The request from Hein Restaurant is a trade name change application. The new trade name will be the Duck and the Peach, the Wells, L.A. Kalina. I make a motion that we approve this request. Is there a second?
Ms. Crockett seconds.
Ms. Crockett has seconded the motion. We'll now have a roll call vote on the motion that's been properly seconded by Ms. Crockett. Mr. Cato?
Bobby Cato, I agree.
Ms. Crockett?
Rafi Crockett, I agree.
Ms. Henson?
Jenny Hansen, I agree.
Mr. Grandis?
Ed Grandis, I agree.
Mr. Anderson, I agree. The matter passes 5-0-0. We have now come to those are all our agenda items for the day. And if there are no other questions, then I will formally close the record. As chairperson of the Alcoholic Beverage Control Board for the District of Columbia, and in accordance with DC Official Code Section 2574B of the Open Meetings Act, I move that the ABC Board hold a closed meeting on December 3rd, 2020 for the purpose of seeking legal advice from our counsel on the matters identified on the board's legal, license, and investigative agenda for December 3rd, 2020, as published in the DC Register on November 20th, 2020. Is there a second?
Ms. Crockett seconds.
Ms. Crockett has seconded the motion. I will now take a roll call vote on the motion that has been properly seconded by Ms. Crockett. Mr. Cato?
Bobby Cato, I agree.
Ms. Crockett?
Rafi Crockett, I agree.
Ms. Hanson?
Jenny Hansen, I agree.
Mr. Grandis?
Ed Grandis, I agree.
Mr. Anderson, I agree. As it appears that the motion has passed 5-0-0, I hereby give notice that the ABC Board will hold this closed meeting. Pursuant to the Open Meetings Act, notice will also be posted on the ABC Board Hearing Room Bulletin Board, placed on electronic calendar and Amber's website, and published in the DC Register in as timely a manner as practical. We are now formally adjourned for the day. Have a great day. And I will now ask the board, since we are adjourned in our public session, that the board returns for further discussion in our executive session. Have a great day. Thank you very much.